Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, which is the name of the Most High, and Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And the name of this video is going to be the bitter and the sweet. Okay, because, you know, this thing of ours, as Elder Apostle Gabar calls it, man, you know, we gotta take the bitter and the sweet. Okay, the bitter, which represents what? The more difficult parts of these scriptures to understand, such as, you know, to name a few examples, you know, difficult laws that, you know, are hard to understand, such as, you know, Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, or, you know, there's many laws, man, okay, that are difficult to grasp, you know, the time that we're in. Okay, so that's the bitter part of the scriptures. Or, you know, another bitter part is dealing with, you know, the affliction that we got to catch. Okay, because, hey, look, brothers, you know, the path to the kingdom is a path of difficulty. That's why the scriptures tell you in Ecclesiasticus, the 2nd chapter, which, you know what, let's even go ahead and, you know, start off this lesson with that verse. That's one of my personal favorite scriptures, brothers, is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. That's one of my personal favorites. Okay, Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy latter end. For whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. Right, so brothers, we're all going to have to go through that in this walk of ours, man. Okay, we're all going to have to go through, you know, certain trials and hardship in this walk. Okay, matter of fact, I don't have the precept, but the scriptures say what? Think it not strange, the fiery trial that you find yourself in. Right, don't think it's a strange thing. Okay, you know, because these Christians out here, they teach what? That, you know, if you're, you know, bad things are happening to you, right? If bad things are happening to you in your life, well, that means that you're, you know, probably, you know, in sin, and the Lord might not be dealing with you. That's what they teach, but that's not true, man. Now, I'll say this, certain times, you know, bad things happen to people because they're being judged. But oftentimes, man, especially to somebody who's in this truth, you know, negative things happen simply because what? The Lord's purifying us. Okay, we got to go through trials and afflictions in our lives so that what? That in the latter end, we might be increased. Okay, and since we're in the end now, right, we're in the, you know, the last days of the last days, you know, it's going to increase even more. Okay, so, you know, we got to take the bitter part as well as the sweet. Which, what is the sweet? The sweet represents what? The, you know, the gospel, right? The good news, right? That Yahweh Shai came, you know, to die for the children of Israel, and that, you know, we have been forgiven of our sins and our iniquities through him, and we might receive salvation. That's the good news. Okay, what are some good news is? You know, knowing that the kingdom's coming, right? And the benefits and pleasure that come along with that. That is the good news. Okay, those are good news. Okay, but we got to also take the bitter. You got to take the bitter and the sweet. Okay, you got to take the bitter part of this truth and the sweet part. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter, bear with me a second, chapter 10 and verse 9. It says, and this is John speaking, it says, and I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up, and thou shalt make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. Right, and what does that represent? Right, he had to take the gospel, right, the Bible, and he had to learn, he had to digest it. And it's not literal, right? He didn't literally actually physically eat a book, right, or a scroll back in those times. No, that's not literal. It just is metaphorical, right? He had to take the understanding of the scriptures. Okay, that's what it's referring to. Okay, and that's the same thing that we have to do, right? We have to, you know, mentally take in the understanding of this book, and we have to go out and teach our people, whether that be on the highways and byways teaching, or whether that be on the way, you know, of this platform called YouTube, which the Most High has set up for us to teach on in these last times. Okay, but, you know, we got to take the bitter as well as the sweet. Okay, you got Israelites out here such as the Sakari, where they'll take, the sweet parts of the scriptures, but as far as the bitter part, for the most part, a lot of those they'll leave out, and they won't talk about those. Like such as Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. Right, I went on one of the shows and called them out about it, and they were just like, they went around with the teaching that the world has on that topic. Why? Because those brothers, they couldn't, digest the entire, rule. Okay, well, we just get a couple more precepts. Let's go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, and verse, let's start at verse 5. It says, "And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children." And here's the main point. "My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked to him." All right, now let's stop there for a second. What does that mean? As I went to the Ecclesiasticus, the 2nd chapter, we're all going to be tried in this thing. Okay, my brothers, we're all going to be tried. Okay, there's an affliction that's set there for all of us, brothers. Now, some of us might have it worse than others, but hey, at the end of the day, the scriptures say what? The greater you are, the more humble you must be, right? The scriptures also say, to him that is given much, much will be required from him. Right, so, each brother has his own level of difficulty, in this truth, man, right? In this walk of ours, right? Trying to separate ourselves from this world, man. Not physically, but mentally. Right, our people are out there trying to, be the next, celebrity out here, trying to be the next, trying to live it up here, man. We ain't looking for that. We're looking what? To lift up Yahushai, the world calls Jesus Christ. That's what we're out here, looking to do, is to lift up Yahushai. Okay, because he's the one who deserves to be on that pedestal. Okay, anyway, let's go back to the verse. Let's go to verse 6. "For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourges every son whom he receives. If ye endure chastening, Yahweh deals with you as with a son. For what son is he whom the Father chastises not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not a son." Right. So, my brothers, hey, look, when you find yourself in diverse temptations and, trials in your life, the Lord's just trying you to see if you're really worthy, man. Okay, because we're all going to have to go through that, right? A chastisement. That's part of the bitter part of this truth. Okay, you can't just take the sweet part. You have to take the bitter as well as the sweet. Okay, and that's just what it comes down to, man. At the end of the day, you got to take the bitter part of this truth as well as the sweet. Okay, which is, just symbolic of, the difficult things to understand in the scriptures, as well as the trials and tribulation that will come your way in this thing of ours. Okay, but hey, you have to take it, man. We all got to be men and take it. Okay? And if you don't, well, then you ain't in the truth. Very simple. Let's go to the book of Matthew. Let me see real quick. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 10. Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. All right, says, this is the words of Yahushai here, the words of Christ. It's in red letter. Okay, Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loves father or mother more than me, he is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me, he is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross, and follows after me, he is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loses life for my sake shall find it." Right, and what is that talking about, man? Right, that in this thing, man, hey, going by the thumbnail right here, you got to have all chips in, man. Right, we're all chips in. We're giving this thing of ours our all, man. Right, you can't be, half-assing it, inside joke. You can't be, like these cats in the world, man. You know, they got 1 foot in the truth and 1 foot in the world, man. You can't be doing that, man. With all you cats out there who are doing that, you know, you're going to get found out, man. Right? You know, that's why a lot of brothers, you know, you go to their pages, man, and they don't upload very frequently anymore. Why? Because, you know, they probably either went back into the world or, you know, they left this truth, man. All right? And, you know, we just got to use those men as examples of how we don't want to be. Okay? We don't want to be like that, man. We want to, you know, the scriptures speak about, you know, remaining hot, right? Spiritually hot. The Lord would rather you to be either hot or to be cold, not somewhere in the middle, right? So it symbolizes what? You're either in this thing or you're not in it. Okay, and a lot of cats just can't take that, man. Let's just flip the page and go to Matthew chapter 11 and verse 6. It says what? And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. Right, because a lot of things that, you know, the Lord Yahushai, you know, who they call Christ, said are very controversial, man. All right, it's very controversial, the things that Christ said. That's why, you know, when he gave parables, you know, he gave it in a dark saying so that the, you know, the crowd, they couldn't understand it. So he would sound like, you know, a crazy man. Say, for an example, when Christ said, you know, to eat my flesh and drink my blood, people will be thinking, wait, what? Is he talking about cannibalism? No, he's talking about, you know, to take of his teachings, right? To follow his teachings. It's not, you know, literal. Okay, majority of, you know, Christ's teachings when he speaks, it's not literal, but it symbolizes something else. Okay, so that's just an example, right? People would think that guy's talking about cannibalism, right? But he's really talking about something completely different. Okay. So a lot of guys will hear the, you know, the teachings of Yahushai and they'll get offended at it. Okay, but we, you know, we can't be doing that. If you're doing that, then you ain't worthy, man. All right, worthy of following Yahushai. All right, so, you know, that's pretty much going to be the lesson, man. You know, I just wanted to, you know, give a few thoughts on that. All right, but hey, at the end of the day, we got to take both the bitter and the sweet, you know, that comes with this thing of ours, right, with this truth. Okay, so, you know, anyway, if anybody made this far into the video, let's put hashtag in the comment section. Put hashtag all in. Put hashtag all in the comment section down below to see if any brother made this far into the video. And I'm going to, of course, end off by giving all praise to Yahweh and his son Yahushai for this truth. And I'm going to say shalom.